Okay, so here what I have is the Foshan City statues. Andy, this episode is to you, buddy. Here's one of my favorites out of all the statues. These are, of course, very heavy, and they have incredible detail and likeness. They also, the way you know an original is they all have a stamp on them, okay? Either on the base or at the bottom, okay?
And the way to know that they're authentic is that there's actually a seal on the base of the statue that Andy made me aware of, and it's authenticated by the sculptor. And the sculptor's name, who put these statues out, was Lau, L-A-U-R-A-U, San, S-A-N. So Lau or San put these statues out in the early 70s. And I think
these things are incredibly rare and expensive to obtain. I was looking for the stamp on this one is over here.
There it is, the seal, yes.
Yep. Okay, and if you look, if you can zoom in on the expression, that's Bruce all the way. Okay, that's one of my favorites.
And where'd you get these?
I purchased these in Chinatown and in Manhattan in the 70s. So I've had these quite a while. Here's the one, the jumping flying sidekick. He stands on a post, but I'm afraid that he might fall off that post, so I've never actually mounted him on the post. He has the hole in the back to mount him right there.
Wow.
And he mounts, and this is the metal piece that goes in the back, and then he stands up high like that.
With the flying kick.
Yeah, and then if you can see, this one here has 2 stamps on the base.
Yep.
Right there. Another favorite that I've had a lot of offers for is the peace sign.
Oh, I love that one.
The peace sign one. And they used to have the $550 price tag on it, because these things were about $350 to $550 back in the day in Chinatown. And like I said, the likeness and the heaviness of these statues is incredible.
Wow.
I have reproductions of them up on top there, but they do no justice to the original statues.
Now, how many are in the whole collection, to your knowledge?
I have been told there was 12. And the reason people think there's 12, there's actually 10. But there is 12, and the reason being is this statue here came in 2 different versions. It has like a block of cheese kind of bottom on it, and it's completely different. It's squared off, and it's the exact same pose, except it has a different base. Okay, so that could be considered another one. And there's also a nunchuck one, a single nunchucks, so that's number 10.
And that one you don't have?
That one I don't have. It's the only one I'm missing.
Wow.
But there's 2 of them, and I'm trying to remember which is the other one. I want to say is that kick one, which is the heaviest one of the set. And here's the double nunchuck one.
Beautiful.
Okay, these things are just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. These things have been around with me since the 70s. And this one here is so heavy, this is the heaviest one out of all of them, that it actually cracked the foot from the weight. And on top of that, it was cracking the base because of the weight. It's all centered right there. I had to actually epoxy it to keep it from actually breaking through because of the weight of this thing. This thing probably weighs 12 pounds. It's really extremely heavy. Well, they made 2 versions of this one too. But this is an extremely, this one is actually, the Chinese writing is actually inscribed in it.
Nice.
In the base on that one.
And then let's zoom up a little bit. Let's go to the next thing. You could we'll put those back in a second.
Okay.
Let's go up to the second shelf here. What do you have on the second shelf?
Let me talk about this one real quick. Before all those statues came out, I was told that this was an actual test. This is the only one I've ever seen in existence. I don't know if anybody out there has this one. The stamp is at the very bottom. And this one is very detailed and even has an inscription on the bottom. Here, like a broken board. Okay, and this one is very detailed. It's just like a small miniature version. Now, on top here, I have other versions of it, which not even resemble, not even close. But this thing is incredible, and I've never seen another one like it.
Yeah, neither have I. Well, that's amazing, John.
Okay, so over here, what I did was, I did Bruce's timeline of his years, of his 32 years. I basically put him in civilian street clothes back here. Then I put his Kato years. I put a couple of figures of his Kato years there. Then I put him in Chinese Connection here. I put him in Big Boss there. And then, of course, Return of the Dragon there, kicking Chuck Norris, and then Enter the Dragon.
Beautiful.
So I kind of like tried to cover his whole lifespan there in his movies. Then here I have a special 18-inch resin kit that was built by Sal Alvarez out of New York. He did a phenomenal job on it. When I was unpacking it, I kind of chipped the paint there, but other than that, he did the base, the custom base, and he painted that thing. That thing is absolutely gorgeous in person. Going through here, you just see different statues and different figures. Right here I have Bob Wall and Jim Kelly bowing down to Bruce, and Bruce doing his famous Jeet Kune Do, and that's what I wanted to get out of that. And then of course that little guy over there, the sought after guy there, with Bruce in that period costume. And then up here I have a game of death from Enterbay, another game of death in a different pose. Han and Bruce there. I got Bruce back there. I got him here in the boxing gloves. Over here he's putting away the snake in the bag. And of course over here doing the showdown with Han with the claw. And then of course up top I have a couple of busts and the reproductions of these figures. That big one there, the silver one, is a reproduction of that big one kicking that I showed you. They got the tall one there, is about 18 inches tall. And that's about it there.
Well, it was a great Enterbay collection and figure and Foshan statue collecting there, John.
Thank you, thank you.
And then I'm going to go over here to this Enter the Dragon poster that you have on the wall here. That's really nice. Is that an original?
Which one is that?
The big beige one up there.
Over
it
here?
says
That's
Bruce Lee.
That's an actual towel out of the UK that I got from Ricky
Oh, that's
Baker.
a towel.
That's a towel.
Wow, it's
from
beautiful.
Ricky Baker that I got. Yep, out of the UK. I purchased that.
Nice.
And then of course that's a Jason Ng figure that's still in the box. I haven't unpacked it. Couple of right here I got a couple of magnets. Here I got about over 300 posters in these things here. I got an original Bruce Lee skateboard from I think I got this like in 1975, 76. This thing has some age to it, where if you were here you could see all the wood is actually cracking on it, and it's pink and yellow. But it has a significance to me because it's one of my first pieces that I got. And like I said, because of age, the wood is actually cracking everywhere you look. Kind of unique there for me. Up here, of course, I have a picture of Bruce and Brandon's gravestones. That whole area has changed. I don't know if anybody has seen. They've added a third stone there. I'm not sure whose the gravesite is off the top of my head, but they've added more to it.
Yep.
Of course, one of the old blacklight posters.
Look at that, the felt posters from the 70s.
And then this display cabinet, I would move this glass, but I'm afraid to right now. But all of this cabinet here is loaded with magazines. There's probably about 2,000 magazines just in this cabinet.
Stay tuned for more of John Negron's incredible Bruce Lee collection, including his rare Brandon Lee and Crow collectibles, coming soon.